Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 6 of the Duel with your boy D Herm BJJ,
Vibe, I.
and we've been vibing this week. I mean, very chill week in gaming, very laid back. We had some good plays. My excitement hit its not yet to its peak, but hey, man, I'm really happy for this past week. How about you, man?
Bro, I've been back on Night Rain. Been playing Night Rain nonstop, R6 nights nonstop, on my rank grind, just having a good time. But I know you're very happy because
Uh,
one of the greatest games of all time, in your opinion,
A hun-
dropped
a
this
hundred,
week.
a 100%, dude. I've been playing that thing since the early access on Tuesday. I got some
Can you
characteristics from the game as
can you
well.
tell us what game this
It's
is
that
for some
man,
people who don't know?
Death Stranding 2 on the beach in the sun, on the beach. Death Stranding 2. It's available everywhere. Believe PlayStation not yet to the PC community, but I could care less about where it's available. If you don't have a PS5, boy, you better go buy one. You better do whatever you can to get your hands on this game because it is graphically phenomenal. Story wise has been phenomenal as well. But a lot of the elements that go on with this game is just unreal, and it's a lot of things that get to attention to detail. Funny thing is, I went to the pool today. I got sunburn on my nose.
I can see that.
There's a sunburn feature in the game, dude. If you
Wait,
stay out in the
what?
sun, yeah, if you stay out in the sun, he gets sunburned, bro. Sam Porter,
Well,
Norman Reedus get sunburned, and you get cured by a shower. Guess what? I took a shower, did not get my sunburn cure, so I'll feel this one in the morning.
well, when you were saying previously like about the whole birthday cake when you plan on your birthday, you go like, oh, celebration. Scroll through Twitter and I see like the whole animation about when you play on your
Mm-hmm.
birthday, and there's a whole like cutscene that happens with all the
Yeah.
main characters. I guess
Yeah.
one of the enemies too. Like everybody's there. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And like
Yeah. I thought
the
I thought it was
attention
gonna
to
be
detail
yeah. That no,
is
sorry to cut you
crazy.
off, but like the attention to detail is insane. But I was upset because I really was looking forward to the cake because at first I was tempted to enter like, let's say I played the game on Tuesday by Friday, like okay, that's my birthday's Friday because I wanted to get to the point that if it's in the private room, but then I just saw it on Twitter obviously, and it was like oh, it's a whole cutscene, which was cool, but attention to detail, you could keep on going. What do you think
No,
as
I
somebody who
mean,
hasn't played it yet?
okay. So I haven't really played. Yes, I know that. But the graphics, I saw like graphics from like
Mm-hmm.
the first game to this game. Dude, what engine is this that they're using? Because this thing got
Des
upgraded at like 100,000.
so it's Decima or Decima, how I don't know how they pronounce it, but it's the same game engine that was used for like Horizon Zero Dawn, they said, but
Really?
this is one of the main reasons why Kojima went off to with these guys as opposed to like Unreal Engine 5. He rolled with this one. So the whole graphics standpoint, um a lot of things on Twitter have been because of the beginning of the game with the rocks. Like I thought the cutscenes as well was just straight like we're just filming just like how we are now. That's what I thought the whole thing was at first, but I was wrong greatly. So
But trying to catch up to like this story, I'm replaying Death Stranding 1
mhm,
as well. The cutscenes are like movies.
they
Like
are.
this there's very cinematic. The soundtrack I still love. So I'm excited to get into two, but as I'm catching up, I'm like, one still holds value to today. And then two, like I'm watching some gameplay on Twitter, stuff like that. There's like real time, like the world, like you have like these collapses that happen,
Yeah,
like the elements, everything is like real time and it affects your character and it's
flooding.
very realistic.
Hmm.
Um, Again, cinematics, the graphic fidelity of like the characters, the facial features. Again, the soundtrack, like Kojima, like as he made this game beautiful.
Yeah.
However, I'm also hearing things like, oh, Walking Simulator 2.0, but yet plus a lot more action than the first game.
Yeah, a lot more action, I would say. You don't get. I haven't dealt with something like a penalty, like when you kill somebody, because then that's where the whole BT or these void outs would happen is that you have to dispose the body. So I haven't dealt with anything to that realm yet because I'm just so used to the first game where it's like the delivering, and it's a very laid back game if you think about it. As opposed to it being so action based. Like yes, the whole thing is to connect the universe and so forth, the cities amongst each other. So it's very important to make sure that you establish the roads. And once again, the attention to detail also deals with if it's not a multiplayer game, but let's say you've been playing it and you walked a certain path. I know the path that you walk, and like the environment would like adjust. Just like how we're at a park and everyone take steps on the grass, like thousands of people a day step on this patch of grass. Grass doesn't grow anymore. It turns into mud. It turns into dirt. Grass is gonna learn to not grow. Same concept in this game, that you see people have gone on the similar path. So
So
there's
it's
like
not a direct one-to-one multiplayer, but is there still multiplayer access aspect because everybody's legit just playing and the world evolves as everybody's going along their routes
correct.
and their paths.
Correct. So
That's
let's say
pretty
you
fun. That's
dropped a
pretty cool.
cargo, I could pick up your cargo and like drop it off at a facility, and it would just be like, oh, somebody
Do
retrieved your
you
cargo.
do you see the ghost of like the other characters?
No, 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 you don't.
Oh,
That is one thing you don't. You
but the
see if you
world
be
but the world still changes as everything is happening.
correct. So if you're just, let's say you built a bridge, you built a monorail, you left a car in a garage, like I could go get that and use it to for the deliveries. But in terms of like the whole walking simulator, once again, it's like you have to understand the whole main reasoning behind it, and to make the game easier is you have to do these kind of side jobs so that when you do these deliveries, because you'll get into the action, don't get me wrong, you're gonna get into it, but if you want to be an easy route, at the end of the day, his whole thing is to have this delivery. And what I read on Twitter is that he's kind of throwing a shout out for the porters, is an actual type of job that happens in Asia, I believe, like to go through like the Himalayas and the mountains.
Okay.
I don't know exactly their title, but like there are pictures that they are similar like them. So it's kind of like a little tip of the hat, like recognizing a a job that doesn't get any type of recognition. We overlook these feats that these delivery guys do, especially in the mountains. Don't get me
Dude.
wrong. I love my United States Postal Service. I love my UPS workers. I love them. I love them dearly. Shout out to those
But
guys.
shout out to
You
the
know who
porters. Shout out
you're.
to the
But
porters.
shout out to the porters that if you could somehow find a picture of them, like you got it. It's like a big shout out to them. Hopefully, one of the clips, like when we
And then
upload this week, I could
just
shout them out.
another thing to touch on with this game with like Death Stranding, the map is huge. Like I've seen
I don't
stuff on
feel
Twitter that
it.
like people are 50% of the game and they still haven't unlocked the whole map yet.
Okay. No, so I feel like I'm probably 30% in. Like I'm really taking my sweet time with this. I mean, I had so many things go on this week, but I believe like I'm in episode 6 of it. Like I said, the graphics standpoint is like it's beautiful, but I've been doing more on the performance mode so I can get that 60 frames, and it still looks amazing. But I mean, it's the map of Australia, it's a map of Mexico, like things like that. So it doesn't feel as long, I guess, because I'm just relaxed driving it. I'm talking to my fiance, chatting with the boys. Like it really doesn't matter. I'm
Yeah,
just there to
you
lay
take your
back.
time with this one.
Yeah, no, it's but from what I was looking to complete it is way shorter this game than it was the first game. That
As
because
far as main story or main story plus side
plus
quest.
side quest, I look at how long to beat.com or just Google that, and that's where I kind of like get my grasp of things, so I know what games to play if I'm gonna dive into this for 80 hours. Like how many hours am I looking at? If
I
I'm
use
like,
a PSN profiles. They also help you out that one too. Because you
I
get to
gotta
see
take a
the
look.
trophy list, how easy or hard the plat is for the trophy 100%, and then game time, like how long it
Yeah,
take you.
but this one
But that's
to talk about game
so
time. I mean, play and
yeah, do you have
it's not
like
gonna be.
specific hours about how long it takes?
I believe it was like 35 and a half, maybe 50 something to complete it all. 50
Oh,
something, it could sound reasonable because if the last game
dude,
was
that's
like 80
short.
hours, but I might, like I said, it might still be in progress, or it's like those who played their first game, like you could kind of know the direction that Kojima was going with the trophies, like delivering X amount of packages, getting your ratings up, and playing the story quest. Like there's also little side things, but once again, it's getting easier in terms because this game has been popular, that the online world has helped you out, I would say. They've helped you out. You take their bridges, you take the cars. For some reason this one kind of feels easier. That's
Like
my take on it.
I'm going back and I'm playing DS1, and because everybody has played Death Stranding 1 already, and I'm
Yeah.
still kind of new. A lot of stuff like that's left over from the world, like the ladders, the ropes, the cars with gas them. It's there, so I'm just like, oh, I just go and just grab it because it's here. Because
Yeah.
people already played it. They've already been playing the game numerous times. That the world is legit. It's way easier. I feel like if I was to play on launch, the world wouldn't have been filled with so much
Mhm.
resources as what it is now.
And that's what I was worried about. I was like, why did I do this date like early access? Maybe because I didn't want to get the spoil. Like I really just wanted my system in. Plus, you get some of the deluxe edition um, things that come along with it. But I was just worried. I was like, this game could be easier if you just let it play out a few days, because by the time you play DS2, there's gonna be cars and probably
Oh yeah,
monorails like
100%.
out the wazoo. So it's gonna be kind of easier. But once again, the story for this one, it's still developing. But once again, it's that intertwining of like four different storylines, but it's all gonna connect to that one at the end. But my what I was getting mad at is that a lot of people were like, Kojima was reposted on Instagram, a lot of people playing it, but it was literally only like the first 10 minutes with like, wow, this game's amazing, I'm gonna call out of work. I'm like, yo, bro, you literally just hit start on the game, you didn't even start the game at all. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, so that scene where it's like he's on the top of the trails going down, bro, that's literally the beginning of the game. They're acting like they played 50 hours into this game, and it's not, oh, it's a beautiful game. I'm like, bro, you guys all your boys are at the party. Like, this is a game. You sit down, you just hang out, but don't be like, oh, this is visually amazing. I'm like, the game just started. What do you mean? The game's visually amazing, bro. You didn't even dive into it. So that's where I
I mean,
get
no,
like
but given,
upset.
but like the first 20 seconds, you have to, like the first few minutes, you have to grab the attention of the character of the player.
A hundred
Like
percent.
again, a lot of games I didn't give a chance because the first maybe 10 minutes were so slow. It was so slow, and I was very pissed off. But again, if you don't give it that time to play out, then you can't really criticize it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to grab the attention in the first 10 seconds, I don't really doubt him for doing it.
But this one is, once again, it's like if you didn't play DS1, it's gonna be tough. Like, but luckily in the beginning of the menu, it's like the recap of DS1. But are you gonna miss some kind of subplots that are
Well, they
significant?
tell you the
Yes.
whole story.
They tell you the whole story, but there's certain things within, like the Carillium. I mean, the one that looks like a claw coming out the ground, which is a new element to Earth, and maybe some of this, like I said, there's a little bit of side things that happen that might not get too dove into detail. Like, yes, when you're playing the game, you could find out, okay, what the hell does that mean for this character, or what does that phrase mean? So you have to. It's like you have to just kind of, it's good that you're playing it, but there's so many like little details that need to be
I'm
explained.
looking forward to like getting into it deeper. I'm happy that Stranding 1 was available on PS Plus.
Yes,
That is a good thing.
but could you
I know Death Stranding.
play Death Stranding 2? I don't think you could play on day
Nah, no
one
Death Stranding 2 on PS Plus.
for two, because I don't know
Um
why they don't do no. I mean, hey, we're gonna cut each other off
so
on this. Yeah.
well again, Death Stranding 1 on PS Plus, a lot of other games on PS Plus, but we're not getting no day one releases on PS Plus anymore, and it's kind of hurting the heart a little bit.
But the question
Especially
is,
with Game Pass.
where was there ever? Because I don't remember it ever being,
Day
let's
ones?
say, so let's say, what's give me a game coming out. Okay, Metal Gear Solid Delta Eater. It's
Okay.
not going day one on PS Plus from what I
Nope.
know. But if I play Xbox Game Pass, for example, Expedition 33, Doom
Day one.
Dark Ages, day one.
Day one.
Indiana Jones, day one.
Day one.
Never heard PS Plus
Nah,
ever doing
dude.
that.
PS Plus. All right. So PS Plus, if it's their games and like Sony with their games, they usually put their games on the PS Essentials, PS Extra categories. Like at the end, I played Ghost of Tsushima because it was on PS Plus. Um,
Great thing, great
I'm
thing.
surprised. I'm surprised though that Spider-Man 2 is not on PS Plus,
Okay,
but
yeah, yeah,
Spider-Man
yeah.
1 and Miles Morales is. So where are our AAA games?
But once again, is Ghost of Yotai
No,
day one? No. So this is the
we are
problem that
not
we're
seeing
having.
that.
That's the problem we're having.
No day
This
ones. Like they legit. I don't think they ever even started it, but there's news that PlayStation is stopping AAA titles and major games on their PS Plus and PS Extra platform, and no day one catalog. But I don't even think we've gotten one to start with.
Yeah, it's a tough thing because once again, you get into the subscription realm, but once again, to play Xbox Live, you have to pay for your subscription. So now, I'm paying Game Pass $10 a month to play any Xbox games, and honestly, like, it doesn't hit the same when you're spending that $70. Why? Because like you want to get the best of your value. When I play these Game Pass games, just like Expedition, you got to 100% that. I was just like, I just want to play the main story and move on to the next one. I've done that for numerous other games. Um, I'm trying to think
So
of
you feel
others.
like if PS was to put their day one AAA titles on the extra catalog,
Yeah.
it would incentivize you basically to buy the subscription more.
It would
and to play
definitely
it more
get
and
it, but
actually enjoy the game a bit more.
yeah, but no, I feel like it wouldn't because it's like there's just so many other games that it doesn't give me that incentive like to kind of get your money's worth. Because the reason why I buy these games and to want to 100% it is to get my money's worth of
Yeah,
it, not
same.
like the $10. Because then I don't feel like it's not that significant. I'm gonna
But
get it.
however, let's go back to Expedition, right? You got it on Game Pass. I
Yes.
bought it retail. I think I bought the deluxe edition. But you didn't have the same like I 100% it
No, because
than I did on
yeah,
PS.
because I was waiting for Death Stranding 2 to come out, and I was just such in a rush, like especially with the amount of time that it had, and it just didn't feel as significant. I mean, I paid more for Destiny's 2's DLC
Too.
than I did for Expedition. So think about that in the grand scheme of things.
That's another thing with PS Plus. Like they need to look at some. I don't know. There has to be some type of stat or something to look at because it happens numerous times to a lot of people, which is you pay the full price tag for a game for a DLC for something, and legit the next month it comes out for free, and it's
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
dude, what? Like what? Can we at least get like a what's coming up next a little bit earlier than the week before?
Yeah.
Like that way we know what's going on because it happens numerous. Like there's been a bunch of times
Last month that
where
happened.
what happened to you with Destiny?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I
Um,
spent. Well, listen, I got a steal. I can't even complain. I took a deal that was retailed 140 something dollars and got it for $30.
you
Like you can't really complain about it,
but
but it's like yo, like come on.
that game, Balatro,
Yeah,
right?
I could never.
That card game. So
Yeah.
I was gonna buy it, right? I was gonna buy it, but remember, I had a well. To those who don't know, I had a period of time where I was banned on PS. Can't say why. Competitive gaming, but I was gonna buy Balatro, but because you got a ban, like you couldn't like use the PS Store. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And then when I got unbanned, it was like a week. I came back, Balatro was free. I was like, oh, good thing I didn't buy it. I could just get it for free now.
Yeah.
But like it's stuff like that, and this happens to me numerous times. Even with other games, it's like, dude, you didn't go buy it, and like it's already out. So now our AAA games, we're not seeing anything. I never saw anything from the jump. Like it's always if we get a release, it's gonna be weeks or months later.
But
It's never like day one.
do you think that it's I feel like when you just make it day one, yeah, it kind of forces people to want to get the subscription, but at the end of the day, it just
Yeah,
doesn't hit the same because it doesn't feel like that
no,
exclusiveness, or once again, it's
I'm
a
not gonna front. What I miss, remember, like you would go to GameStop
of course,
like day one, night before, camp out, go get your game. Like that is what I miss. That's what. But everything's digital now. But then
yeah,
you have something where it's like Sony versus Xbox, where Microsoft is going more subscription based stuff. So that's why the Game Pass is like their biggest seller. You're gonna get day one exclusives. You're gonna get all the AAA games right away. Buy the
hmm
subscription. Go ahead. PS, they're not really like I don't know. They never really like upgraded the PS Plus subscription or made it better or made it more intuitive. It was
no,
just like the same stuff since launch.
if you want to play your classic games, or for the most part, or if you have the PS Portal, like yeah, I
Yeah, I
get
mean,
it.
you
Like
get
I
the
want to play
premium stuff
Dino
like that.
Crisis, and I would play like classic games on that, but that's not what I'm gonna.
But
That's not what I want to do.
Game Pass from launch
Hmm
to where it is now, it reinvented itself numerous times.
Yeah,
To where it is now, to where a lot of people have Game Pass, they even own Xbox because of the integration, because of all that stuff.
because it's way more connected
Oh,
to PC. So
well, yeah.
mm,
So, but Sony still hasn't like it's been the same thing since launch. Like they've added some features, but then you see them like just stopping those features right away. They like start new features and then just get rid of them months later. So like what was it PS Stars? PS Stars was a cool thing that came out, but it never really went far. It was like a
yeah,
cool idea. They did some stuff with it and then they just started rolling it back. And we're like,
I
all
gotta
right.
start redeeming some points on that note because
Oh dude, get all your stuff out the way
yeah,
now because I already started getting pings like, dude, take all your coins out because you're not gonna like you can't redeem them. So I'm like, all
yeah.
right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, PS Plus is still. I don't want. It's been around for quite some time. I mean, especially through PS4. But with these tiers, it's got to take some time to kind of. It's not really an identity. It's not an identity problem.
It's not
It's
any
just
problem. I think it's
I just feel like people haven't complained, but it's like yes, we would love the day one thing, but once again, you got to convince people to spend the
I
top
just yeah, I
dollar.
think they just need to upgrade it. Like extra, again, I like the PS Plus thing, but I like PS Extra more than Central. There's nothing on
Yeah.
PS Essential that makes me want to get PS Plus. Nothing at all. But PS Extra is like, okay, you get all this other stuff, might as well get extra. Premium, I don't care about classics. Like I want if I'm gonna play classics, I want to play the real classic. But
Mm-hmm.
other people are different. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But some people are like pushing to get premium. But if you have a Portal and you want to use Portal as a standalone device, you have to get premium. So they have like these gotcha things, but like even then, it's like it's been the same thing. And as a fan of it, I'm also disappointed about this. So it is what it is.
Yeah. But speaking of like your classics and all that stuff, I mean, you could definitely play some Capcom games on that because as we talk about like their
Oh yeah.
review and stuff like that, I mean, hey, like I said, you as Jules just said, you got the premium. You could definitely play a lot of Capcom classic games, Dino Crisis, classic Resident Evils, and so forth. Capcom has a lot of classic games that are very intertwined with the PlayStation, and on top of that, Capcom did release their showcase that happened on June 26th. I got to see a little bit. I don't know. I got to see it, but like skimming through because there was like some things that just like sounded repetitive. But because we wanted to get like the what's what? Why did you make this conference? That's the main thing. You made this conference for a reason. So
Remember, E3's not around no more. Everybody's making their own conference.
exactly, and I didn't want to get it aside before we go into Capcom. I didn't want. At first, I wanted to talk about today with the Arc system works. But dude, I saw that and I was just like, oh, thank God I did not like add this into like our topics because Arc Fighting, if you guys don't know, is Dragon Ball Fighters, Guilty Gear. They're gonna do the new Marvel fighting game. It was probably one of the worst showcases I think I've ever seen in my life. It just had nothing to do with their future. It was all in the now, and I could not count more. Like not even one person I know was playing any of their games that they have now. So I was like, that's what you got. This is what it was. Like games that kind of people don't
You
care
were
about.
you were that disappointed about
Respectfully,
this.
yeah, because I'm like, all right, we might get Dragon Ball Fighters 2 announce it, or hey, here's our update to
Nothing.
Marvel. It was just okay, a fighting game that I don't know anybody that plays, a story game that they got coming out that I'm like, I could care less about, and like that was it. It was like one of the shortest things ever. But when we came to Capcom, it kind of I don't want to say it was kind of the same, but it was like, all right, you wanted to talk about you talked about Street Fighter, you talked about Resident Evil, and you talked about Pragmata and Monster Hunter. Sorry.
But
So
these are games they've been talking about for a while.
yes,
Like we've heard about them for a while.
so let's talk about our favorite one that we've been talking about for quite some time now is Resident Evil. So they said that the main thing that everyone was not really upset, but they kind of nipped in the bud, like, hey, look, Leon Kennedy is not the main protagonist. He said not the protagonist, the so the main one is Grace Ashcroft. That's what they noticed because they said something like, oh, it'd be stupid if Leon gets scared every 2 seconds, but it was like, okay, who cares? So they wanted a female lead that like is very you because you see how she is, that she's very even in the trailer she's very like quirky, that she's got a stack of files that haven't been done. And she's like, ooh, I'm sorry,
Do we
like very
do
nerdy
we
and
see
quirky.
Leon?
No, 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 no. They just wanted to be. They just mentioned it because like, oh, we hope to see Leon. We hope to see this character because at the end of the day, these main characters that happened in the previous games come back to Resident Evil. As I said before, Resident Evil 7 and Village was Chris Redfield, so they were hoping that Leon makes a comeback some way somehow.
Yeah.
But they were just like nipped in the butt. He's not the main protagonist, but they never said a protagonist. Like they said the keywords the. This is like your whole Twitter like deep dive and conspiracy theorists, and it's taken 30 years after the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3. If no one knows, they happen within hours apart. If you play the storyline of the games, literally hours within apart, that they gotta escape Raccoon City. Raccoon City, like they were showing some videos, was like kind of still intact for something that took a nuclear bomb explosion. Very surprising. I saw buildings that were still intact. I was like, I'm pretty sure if there was a nuclear bomb, we're in a lot of trouble. Anyways, so their focus, their other focus is like this stalker feel, as they did in the other games. If you look at Village and you look at Biohazard, the Baker family,
Yeah.
he's stalking you around
Yeah.
the house. You go to Village, Lady Desmentru, the one with like the long, the 8 foot lady with like the claws about this wide,
Yeah.
stalking you around the house. So they did like a little drop it of for 9 that there's this like humongous being that is just like kind of stalking you. So they love that stalker element.
Like, not to cut you off, but the whole PT, you remember PT Silent Hill thing?
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yes,
I think PT came out before RE7,
it did.
right?
It did. Yeah, yeah.
PT had that stalker feel inside of it. I don't know if you played it
Yeah, of
extensively,
course. Yeah.
but the ghost, the spirit inside of it, as you play the game, right, you have that feeling there's somebody with you the whole entire time.
Yeah.
And then if you like walk down certain parts and the light is shining a different way, you see the shadow like flickering behind you.
Yeah.
But then after PT release and like people on PC like started modding and like looking into the files, there's legit if they had like a third person mod
Yeah, it was
and
following you.
she's legit behind your shoulder the entire time. And certain triggers just trigger her to happen. But the fact that like that stalker feel, if you want to make a psychological like horror game, that's the way to do it. RE7 did it, RE8 did it, and now if this one's going about that like that, I'm in right away.
I
Like
think so.
no,
My take with this one is I think that it's gonna be per level because trying to think of another game. Well, RE7 in the first houses it was the father Baker, and then if you went to like the
yep,
swamp, it was the mom. So it was like
yep,
still that whole stalker because it just scary. You're not strong enough to fight that being at the moment. You're eventually gonna fight them because they're gonna be a boss. But you're just trying to build up everything, trying to get the keys, trying to get the clues or whatever necessities you need to beat them. But the fact that a lot of these buildings are still intact is cool that we're going back to Raccoon City because it's been a while. But I want to talk a little bit about PT too because it's still like I'm like for those who never have like played it, you guys will not understand that because of PT is why we got these Resident Evils. Another thing about the Resident Evil, Drews, if you didn't know, they were trying
and
to go to open world. They did like little clips that they wanted to go to open world multiplayer because I had a coworker at
and
work. Weapon,
this is
weapon.
why we have Silent
Yeah.
Hill. This is why we have Silent Hill. Not to cut you off, but we have PT is because we have Silent Hill as well. Both of these things.
Yeah. But that's why we had the remake because Silent Hill was like, oh shoot, like everybody really wanted this, and we just let go one of the biggest developers in all the gaming, so we gotta do something right. So that's why they made Silent
Damn.
Hills too. Anyways,
So what you're saying is we didn't have Resident Evil without having Kojima.
I think to this style, that we're back into this horror feel, hundred
Yeah,
percent.
because
Because
Kojima's the one that made PT.
yeah, because like Resident Evil 6 was literally an action game. It was not a horror game. It was an action game.
Bro,
Anyone could play it and
Resident Evil
not get
6 was
scared.
so
It
bad.
was
It was
horrible.
so bad. I'm so happy 7 came out.
Yeah,
Because 6 was so bad.
because I would never forget that E3 when they announced it. And you're like, everyone at first thought, oh, it's PT. But it was like, no, it's not PT. It's just that everybody wished it was PT, but it was just back to Resident Evil roots into that horror feel.
So,
But to
what
sorry
other
to cut
games?
you off. So then it was so we also had announced that they were originally gonna take this Resident Evil and make it an open world multiplayer, and I saw the screenshots of it and it
No,
looked horrible. Like as
no,
I said
yeah,
in the
don't do
previous
that.
episode, I said whatever you do, do not make no multiplayer. Cut the funding. Do what you gotta do. Donate it to a good cause. All that money that
Cut,
you were gonna put it
cut the
because
funding is
because
crazy.
it's just like once again nobody asked for that. We just want Capcom just stick to that horror feel. If you're gonna do multiplayer, which is gonna be our next topic, not our next topic, our next segment of this topic is Street Fighter Six. Just put all the money to that multiplayer.
But
People are still playing,
RE5 had multiplayer.
but that was your co-op multiplayer. But it still had that horror.
Well, 6, yeah, well, 6
Six,
had co-op too.
5 and 6
Oh my
had the
God, it was
multiplayer. Yeah, yeah.
bad.
But it wasn't. But five was decent.
5 was good.
It was
6 was
decent.
bad.
Yeah. It was just because the story didn't make
But
sense.
we have horror. Horror is back, and that's going to be with 7, with 8, and then with new.
With 9. So we'll see how this goes. But now if they could put all their money towards Street Fighter 6 because I was looking at the Twitch numbers the other day because I want to get back into some fighting games. Street Fighter 6 dude has way more numbers than Tekken than
Hmm.
I was gonna say
I
multi
think
combat,
they had a
Mortal Kombat.
they had a tournament recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and now they're gonna go for year 3. So then next month, Sagat, whatever you want to call his name, because I'm not a Street Fighter expert, he's gonna be the new character in year 3. And once again, this is a game that did not die. They didn't give up on it like NetherRealm did. So they're continuing and flourishing this, which is why I'm like, okay, I could get into this. And once again, I'm gonna do modern controls. Like I just want to get through my story games first before diving into that realm. But hey, look, this is a game you could
Are you
continue. So
diving? You're diving into Street Fighter realm?
I want to dive into it. I just got to beat Death Stranding and focus on that for sure
Well, let me
because
know. Let me know. I'll jump in
yeah,
with you.
no, because
I'm so bad, but I'm down. I'm
I'm gonna
down to
do
try it out.
modern. I'm gonna do modern. It took me
Nah,
a
don't do it.
while. I'm gonna visit my cousin this week, so maybe he's gonna like throw the hitbox at me. I'm like, you know what? Let's just do
Cause
this already. Let's get
I
it
doubt
on.
any pros are using. I doubt any pros are using modern controllers, sys controllers. I don't
Nah,
even know if in comp modern control or dark cop can you use modern controls in competition.
nah. I'm not too sure about that, but it's like, hey, look, I feel like one you just got to get into the game first, and this is like a whole different fighting realm. So it's like eventually, like you'll get used to controllers, and then go towards classic. So it's like you start with your easy, and you go. It's like any shooter. Like you start with the 3 sensitivity that they give you in Call of Duty, and then eventually you go to 7. You just like, okay,
Not
I need
me.
to
Not
like,
me.
no,
Not
no, no.
me.
I'm just saying for those who never play Call of
Start
Duty.
start at 20 and bring it down.
That's you. You want a trick shot. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, Street Fighter,
Um,
that was like their main thing, and then they did a little announcement of their movie, which we're
yeah,
not
I was
gonna
gonna
get
ask you
into
like
this movie for the most part.
I was gonna ask you what other games or things that came on the Capcom Showcase that you were excited about.
Pragmata, I gotta say. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna before I talk into Pragmata, I'm not too crazy about Monster Hunter. I know they added some weapons and stuff like that, but once again, I'm just not crazy into bounty and fighting the same thing over and over. I get it, like the monster fighting is probably cool. It's like a raid that happens on Destiny, but just not into it as I
I was only
as I
excited
would be.
about maybe 2 or 3 things, and that was Okami, Onimusha, and RE9.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
Onimusha got announced, but then once again it was one of those 2026, and it's like they did some clips where it was like that fixed camera angle like they did in the classic Resident Evil, but now they're like, no, we're not doing that. We're doing like we're giving everybody the Resident Evil treatment. So that's
Yeah.
cool. So that was announced 2026, Resident Evil 2026, Pragmata 2026, which I'm very surprised with Pragmata, but like once again they're doing this like sci-fi action theme for this new IP, and this game has been in development longer than RE9 has been, if
Yeah.
I'm not
I've heard
mistaken.
about Progmon for a while.
So that's why I'm like not like hesitant. I'm still gonna buy Resident Evil even if it's doo doo, but I'm just excited for it. But I'm guessing like they just definitely switched up the settings. It's not so far off from the last games. That's what I'm gonna say. It's just like you switch up the things and call it a day. You go to your places, and that's about it. But I mean, like I said, we'll see, we'll see. Hopefully, we don't dive into what are to the gates of hell like you would
Well,
in Diablo 4 for one of your free games of the month for PlayStation.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, hopefully these Capcom games live long enough and then they don't die out to where they end up on the PS Plus like free games a month.
No, for real, dude. So we got the following games that happened on the your July free games for your PlayStation, guys.
Which
Uh,
is it would only be the second or the first Tuesday of the month.
First
PS
Tuesday,
Plus
so
is zero free
July
games.
2nd, so the day after this, uh, the show airs. So Diablo 4, which was a great game to
I
play.
never tried it. I need to play that.
I'm gonna
I'm
get into
slacking.
that. I'm gonna get to.
I'm so
I'm
bad.
gonna explain it more. Meaning, then you got King of Fighters KOF 15 fighting game 3v3, not assist style. It was like 3v3, but you know your character dies, my character stays in, and so forth. And just saying, which
I like that.
and I'm not too much into just saying, but I could definitely talk about Diablo 4 and King of Fighters. So to tell you about Diablo 4, when that game came out, it was so fun. It's a dungeon hunter, beautiful graphics. I got it on PC because it was always a PC game. The fact that it came out on console, I was like literally skeptical. I was like, I would never play this game on console. It's
Is
meant for
it
PC.
is it a was it's like a MOBA? Like top down, you gotta control your character, stuff like that?
Yeah, point and click, and you have
Yeah.
your hotkeys on the keyboard, and it would just be easier on keyboard. Like that's why when people were playing on controller, I was like, why would you play that? It's just not the same. I was like, you got to have fun with how Diablo was
But
meant
that
to
was
be.
like Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 people are like it's way better on PC than it's on PS. But I had a great time playing on PS, so
But
we'll
no,
see.
Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, they switched it up because Baldur's Gate 2 hadn't been released in X amount of years. Same thing for Diablo. Well, no, Diablo
Yo,
3 was
Diablo
always
3,
on was
yeah.
hate. It was probably the most hated out of the franchise. But they had it on console, and that was pretty skeptical. But Diablo 4, I'm like, no, like I'm playing this game on the PC, and
Diablo
it
4
was
is a
awesome.
roguelike, no? Or is it a
Yeah,
MOBA?
yeah. No, I'm gonna call it a roguelike. I'm definitely gonna call it a roguelike because it was, for the most part, you go to your dungeon, you have your bunch of builds, you go through the story, and there's so many things you could do afterwise. Build the whole tree.
Does it Oh my gosh, does it play like Hades at all?
No, no, no. Okay, so then it's not.
That's
'Cause
different. That because Hades is a roguelike, and that's I enjoyed Hades.
Hades is great, but no, it doesn't play like Hades. I would say no, no, no. So take it to the MOBA. I'm sorry, I'm not an expert with those definitions. So, but
So I'm not getting to it. Diablo, I'll play Diablo. Okay, I'll try it out.
like I said, it's fun. You could put a lot of hours into it, bunch of different characters. Like I downloaded it recently to try to get back into it because I was just in that phase. Like I want to grind the game, and because I didn't play Diablo for X amount of time, when I got back into it, I'm like, okay, so what the end game is, and it was just so confusing to me, and like trying to navigate was just so much. So for those who played for a while, it's definitely easier for them. But around that time when I played Diablo 4, because it was dungeon, I had on this screen Diablo 4, on my second screen I was watching Succession, and I watched the whole show like as I was playing Diablo, just like
Oh, so it's a
go.
chill game. You don't think about it that
You
much.
just gotta know if you're, yeah, you're not. You're just it's PVE. There is some PvP modes like in certain sections of the map, which were cool. Like I got some great kills on there, and you just gotta find your right build and who you want to be. But it was a chill story. It was a good story. They have like a new expansion that has for sale. I think it's the Vessel of Hatred, which I'm not too familiar with because the big problem was that after once they released the battle pass and everything, it called you could not complete the battle pass really unless you spent X amount of dollars. Like it was kind of like insane. Like they had the Berserk, that
It's
classic
a gotcha
anime.
system.
Yeah, the classic anime Berserk was did a collab with them, and to get all of their collectibles, you had to spend like $140 like on the store if you like broke it down for the coins
For a
wise.
battle pass?
For yeah, Battle Pass like collapsed, so everyone was like, "Yo, like how you gonna take a great anime and just like kind of ruin it with this?" Like, it was just a whole bunch of backlash. But once again, it's Blizzard, so I'm not surprised with that.
Well,
And
Blizzard also knows how to make their games like last forever.
yeah, no, you're not gonna see another Diablo for like over 10 years, 100%. So it's like if you want to play with it, it's never too late. Like there's no really next news for Diablo. Everyone
So
loved it.
next first Tuesday of the month of July, Diablo 4, I'm downloading.
Like I
I'm
said,
getting
if
into
you
it. Dude, but my backlog's me crazy because I still have DS1. I started playing The Order since you shouted out last time. I'm
six
gonna
hour
platinum that
game,
one.
6 hour game, I'm telling you.
I'm gonna say the graphics for a PS4 game, pretty good,
Yeah,
man. Like
it's
I'm not
good.
mad at it. It's very cinematic. You said it's short though. It's like 6 hours,
Yeah,
10
no,
hours.
you literally could sit down in one sitting and just beat it. It's not a long game at
Yeah,
all.
but so far it's okay. I'm not mad at it. But I have that going on. Then DS1, I'm still waiting for, and then hopefully I can like do Diablo by the time Onimusha comes out. That's 2026. And I'm still
Yeah,
grinding Prestige, still playing Night Rain, having a great time playing Night Rain.
yeah, no, it's so tough, like to because it's like immediately getting the backtrack. But like I feel like the month of July, it's these games did come out, but you could like kind of you're just waiting on news now. It's like yeah, we had the announcements, but now we're just waiting and waiting. So
But
we
yeah.
could definitely catch up on some games, but I'm definitely
So what's gonna
100%
be
DS2.
your after you finish DS2? What's gonna be your next one? Do you
The
have
next
anything in mind yet?
I still have to finish this. Where is it? This dog water game of Star Wars Outlaws. I
Outlaws?
got like 3 4 more trophies that I gotta do, and then I'm going straight to GameStop and I'm selling that thing. And
Actually, I need to play cleanup actually because I need to go back and like I have a lot of games that are just like 99, 98% complete to
yeah,
where I just need to go and just finish those platinum.
that's another
Like,
game. Where's my other
dude,
game? This game,
actually,
Final Fantasy, dude. I gotta clean up, but it is so long. JRPGs I did not know were like
they're
over a
long. They're
hundred
long.
entry, bro. But this
Yeah,
was
they're
my
long.
favorite one. But
But I was gonna say Hogwarts. So I got Hogwarts. I was gonna platinum it. Dude, this platinum is boring,
it's so
man.
bad. It's
But you did
so
it. But you
bad.
platinumed it.
But it was
I
so
need I
boring.
need some insight on because it's legit. Go here, talk to this person. Go here, do this. Go
Yeah.
here, talk, and I'm like the story doesn't mean anything. Like it's just
So
how did you do it?
I
How did you do
all I
it,
did, Brood, was I played the main story, and I kid you not, like thank God I have a PC too, because I just watch movies on my second monitor. That's the
bro? I
only
was
way to get
falling
through it.
asleep.
Is you just
I was
gotta have
legit.
something else.
Yo, I'm like playing and legit. I'm like this is boring. I don't. I stop playing. I go play a shooter. Come back. I'm like, all right, stop playing. Go play something else. Come back. I'm just like, it's tedious. It's just tedious.
No,
It's not hard. It's just very
it's just
tedious.
tedious. That's all it is.
And there's a
It's
million collectibles.
yeah, that's one thing that kind of annoyed me. I know I did some YouTube on that, but it was just such a boring game. Like yeah, the side quests are more fun, but it was just such a boring game. Then you got to do the new game plus on it really and do like another
Because you have to do
thing.
every character.
Is every character?
You have to not every character. Sorry, you have to do the intro to every house. That's the trophy.
Yeah, you just gotta skip through that. That was kind of annoying. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, actually, what's on my catalog, which is coming out in July, is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4.
Oh yeah, yeah. But at least it's not like a bit.
I
Yeah,
pre that's gonna be a grind. I know it's gonna be a grind.
yeah.
Like no pun intended. But that's gonna be a good one because I know they might have a level 100 trophy again. I'm gonna be upset if they do.
As they
But I'm
should.
so hyped for this.
That's what I'm like preparing for like Death Stranding because like there's some trophies where it's like you gotta get 5 stars like from your vendors or whatever. So like I'm just doing all these little deliveries to make sure that I get that 5 stars. Um, and yeah, I'm trying to see, trying to beat ahead of it, but I just want to play the story. Like after everything, it's like you just remember the roots of the game.
Yo,
But
last before we wrap up here, last episode we spoke about like our worst platinums.
briefly.
Do you have anything in your mind of like the worst platinums you've ever done?
I can't really. I off the top of my head, no. But I'm. I like putting Hogwarts. Yeah, because it just was not fun. It was not a fun game. I'm trying to think of another. I wanted to. I should. I was stupid people, bro. Whoever works at Rocksteady, Warner Brothers, who did not fix that stupid bug that did not give me my platinum trophy. Your
Which
days are
one? Which
numbered.
game?
I'm on your bumper. Suicide
Which
Squad.
game?
Suicide Squad.
Well, no. You want one?
Oh
You
my
won't have ones like
god.
that. Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh,
I
Ubisoft.
go
Yeah, great
Ghost
people.
Recon Breakpoint. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I played months,
I
years after
bought that by
release.
the way.
I platinumed it. It was horrible on release. It was very buggy,
Yeah,
but I platinumed it afterwards. Right, great. Wildlands. I loved Wildlands, bro. I
ten
beat that
times better.
game numerous times. I got to tier 1. Like I did everything, but the collectibles are broken in that game. So I legit collected and that map is huge. That game is huge.
Humongous.
I collected everything, did every single thing in that game. I have like, I think it's like 110%. There's no platinum trophy because the collectibles don't work. And I was like looking up like, oh, how do I get the platinum on this, dude? They was like, you legit have to buy the disc, which is one. I have it on digital. You have to buy the disc, and you have to play completely offline and never sync your profile because
That's
when you
crazy.
sync your profile,
Yeah.
it messes up the count for the collectibles.
Wow. That's
I was
crazy.
like, yo, I am not doing this all over again.
No, I'm
So
scared because I
Ubisoft
did. I did. You
fix
did.
Wildlands.
Yeah. I bought Breakpoint for like $8 on this sale, and I don't know if I just don't know why I did that. I think I bought like another game from the Ubisoft. Oh yeah, the Division like 2 DLC, but like that's like a 8 hour DLC, which isn't bad, But I'm like, what did I do with Breakpoint? Like, but the whole day one, the launch was so bad, and I love Ghost Recon, but once again, Ubisoft and Rocksteady, your days are numbered. That's all I
Not in the
gotta say.
front. So remember we were talking about like again going back to the topic of horrible platinums. I have one that I think is horrible. Love the game, but I think the platinum's horrible. MK11,
I wish I could platinum that. That
and
was so
that's
fun to play
controversial,
that.
very controversial. But MK11 is, I feel like it's a horrible platinum
No, it was
because
so fun.
you have to do the fatalities and all that stuff with all the characters,
Yeah,
and then you have to rank characters up. Like with MK1, you have to rank characters up to
yeah,
50. Like the they have to fix their trophy list because
yeah,
you are you're grinding for MK11 was more of a grind than MK1.
yeah. No,
That
100%. I just
mm-mm.
gave up on that MK1 because I was like, I'm not grinding each of these cameos, and it's like
Oh,
there's really no double XP. Like they make
but
you would think you're grinding for like prestige levels and COD on MK,
and
and I'm
what's
done
sick
with
is
it.
that I did MK11 twice.
Yeah, that's it.
I did it
That
on
is sick.
PS4 and then I did it on PS5.
That is sick. I love MK11. I really do. But yeah, that's we gotta. I think next episode we gotta come up with a list for the like our top 3 worst platinums because I gotta really
Worst.
sit down and think. Star Wars Outlaws might have to join that
That,
list pretty soon. It's just so
that
bad.
one's
But it's not like so that game like to talk about is just not Story kind of was
It's
like just
just
stupid,
it's
but
not it's not finished though. It doesn't feel like a finished
no,
game.
it's like
I'm
it's
watching you
a
play
game.
it.
It's a game that like was released last year, and like look at Death Stranding 2 that's been in development, releases this year. That game was released last year, and that game Outlaws looks like it was released in 2010. Like it doesn't make
But
sense. They
I'm
stole our
watching
money.
you play, right? I'm watching you
Hmm.
play. There was like a stealth mission or something, and you legit like were
Right up in their
standing
face, right
directly
here,
in their face,
all up in their
and
grill, smelling the breath.
nothing was happening. Like legit, nothing was happening.
No, it's they're the whole South missions and all that stuff just non-existent. Absolutely non-existent. I'll tell you that right now. It's one of the worst Star Wars games. I think like who made this? Yeah, Ubisoft, man. It's your days are numbered, dude. Your games are falling off. Like as much as I try to support you guys, like and I buy your games, like your days are just falling off. I don't know what you guys got to do, but
Well,
you're not moving forward.
I'm excited for some new games. Let's figure out our worst platinums. We'll talk about them next
Yeah,
time.
no, for
We
sure.
already did our best platinums, our fun platinums. What's
Yeah.
next? We'll see.
I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have some fireworks, and on that note of fireworks, we hope that everybody has a fun and safe
Yeah,
4th of July. Don't put your hands in them
yeah.
fireworks.
Keep
Don't keep your
if you want to
fingers
keep
here.
gaming,
You should
you
have
want to
ten
keep gaming,
fingers.
keep your fingers.
If you're driving in the morning, there should be 10 fingers on the wheel,
Please,
and the next Monday you should have 10 fingers on the wheel. There should not be
please.
nothing less. Stay safe. Don't play with no fireworks. Have fun. Enjoy the barbecues, and we
Well,
hope once again you have a safe 4th of July.
play fireworks. Just be safe about it. That's it.
Just yeah, be very safe around it. If you want, hold a grenade in your hand, go play Call of
No,
Duty. Go
yeah,
play Call of
yeah.
Duty. Don't put it in real life. So have fun with that, and we love you guys, and stay tuned, and we'll see you at the next one.